In this video, I'm going to show you how to take an email that goes into spam and turn it into an email that goes into an inbox. Now, periodically, members will reach out to me and ask why their emails go into the spam. I don't think an email should be a sales letter. The more you try to sell and pitch your product or service in the email, I think the less likely they are to take that next step. I think it would be a lot better if you could say all the things that you want to say in your email. Say those things in a video. If you can't find a video that says those things, then create it yourself. It's getting tougher for email to get through the spam filters. And if you're using things like making money and work from home and all these things that these companies catch, it's a lot more likely that your email is going to go into the spam. Now, I also like to keep my lines a lot shorter. Instead of going all the way across the page like this, it's a lot easier for people with phones to be able to read them. And one of the things I notice along the bottom here is they have testimonials for members. Now, I don't have a problem with putting a few testimonials in an email, but I think the better thing to do is put those testimonials on the page they're going to be going to. And it's not going to matter that you're using spammy words that are probably going to get caught. Just going through this and seeing some of these testimonials right here, I see making money. The word click and clicking, I don't like to use those words in my emails. You should really watch out for words that are capitalized like this. Now here's another testimonial here. I've got like all caps and then like 4 exclamation points. That's not a good thing if you want your email to get through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything inside the entire body of this particular email. And I'm actually going to click cut because I want everything out of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to WordPad or Notepad. And Notepad is great because it's going to take out all the bad coding if there happens to be any. So I'm just going to paste in this particular email right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just delete these testimonials. Having these testimonials at the bottom is not going to make or break my prospects clicking on my link. So I'm just going to highlight all the testimonials, scroll down, and click delete on that. All right, so back to the top of this email. I'm going to start making these lines a lot shorter, and then I'm going to decide what it is that I'm going to be deleting. So what I've done is I've taken all those lines that go across from left to right, and I've made each line a lot shorter. And I've also deleted all the testimonials that were at the bottom. And just looking at the text here, I mean, to me, it's just too much. There's too much selling going on here. My only goal is to get them to click on that link. So I'm just going to say a few things that I think are important enough to get them to click on that link, and I'm going to let that sales page do all the work. So I don't see anything too bad with the first line here. Now the next line, I see the words earning money. I would probably change that to, are you ready for your first commission in the next 20 minutes? Now this next line here is just a little bulky. I'm really not sure if telling them that this is not wasting their time or this is not a pyramid scheme is going to make or break them clicking on your link. So I would probably just go ahead and delete that. And now if I read the line over the next few days, I'll be explaining all the ins and outs, benefits, and I'll just put exciting details. Now right about here is where I'm going to want to put a link or higher, but I think here is going to be fine. So I would just say something like, get a sneak peek here, like that. And this would be where I would put my link, and I'll show you that in a second. Now this next line here talks about a $49.99 credit pack, the fact that you make money, you make a 20% profit. This is all well and good. But again, I would challenge you to think, well, why couldn't I tell people that on the sales page? What if I got them to the sales page and the video explained this much better than a couple of lines in my email ever could? Plus, you're enhancing the chances that this is going to make it through the inbox. It's a lot less wordy and people don't feel overwhelmed with text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete this right here. And I see now that it says contact me after you read this. I think if you want to put something like that, that can be like in the PS. I'm going to go ahead and take this URL and paste it up here because I'll be putting this URL behind this text, and I'll show you that in a second. But I'm just going to keep that here for now so I don't lose it. So I'm going to delete that. Now this next line here doesn't seem too bad. I would probably just take out some of the verbiage here to make it simple. And this next line here, I mean, that is just a lot of information. It talks about getting your cash, referral commissions, profit shares, all that. I think this would be better suited on the sales page. So I'm just going to take all of that out of here. And the however is related to that, so I'm going to delete that too. I've already got a click here link, so I'm going to delete that. Now here is another line about reaching out to the person that's sending the email if they need help. So I'm just going to put this on the bottom again, and you'll notice now I have compiled 2 bits of text here that talks about contacting me if you need help. This can all be combined into one little simple line or sentence, so there's not so much text, and I'll work on that in just a second. Now here's another one called Add Me on Facebook. So you know what? This might be good in a PS, or it might be something you want to do on a sales page. I like to kind of stay away from too many calls to action. So again, I'm going to bring that down here to the bottom and figure out what I'm going to do with that. Now sending someone to a support desk for a particular company before they even join, maybe there's a reason for that. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I might save that for another email if there's a very good reason, but I certainly don't want to confuse my prospects and give them one more thing. All I want them to do is do one thing. I want them to go to that sales page where they're going to have a specific call to action from that sales page. So I'm going to just delete all of this altogether. And as far as your little tag here, it could be see you at the top, it could be best, it could be to your success, whatever you want to put, that's fine. And then I'm going to use first and last name codes for right here, along with the phone number code. So let me get rid of this for now, and I'll add that in a second. You'll see. I'm going to put this line here just temporarily so we can look at all this stuff to see if we're going to add it or delete it. So it says, contact me after reading this email, and I will help you get all set up and earning money every 20 minutes. All right, I really think that is something you could tell people on the sales page. If you wanted to include it, PS, maybe something simple like this. I'm here to help you. And then let's see. I will help you get all set up and ready for your first commission in 20 minutes. So now it reads, I'm here to help you. I will help you get all set up and ready for your first commission in 20 minutes or less. Now this next line here, if you need help getting started, you kind of just said that above, so I'm going to delete all of this. Now again, I'm not real big on giving people another link or call to action other than the link I want them to go to the sales page. But for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and put that in here. I'm going to put, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, and then I'll put a little arrow. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take this entire email, now that it's all done, and I'm going to copy all of it, and I'm going to come back to the body of the email, and I'm going to paste that in here. And I'm going to just start cleaning this up, get rid of that line I put there earlier. Let's just start at the top. So I'm going to cut this URL out, and I'm going to paste it behind those words here. I'm just going to click on the link icon and I'm going to paste that in there. Click OK. All right, see at the top. Now, this is where I'm going to put the first name and last name codes. And that will be my first name, my last name, and personal preference. If you wanted to put your phone in there, I'll go ahead and just skip that for now. I would normally do that. I'm just going to put a space in between just like that. And then I've got the PS. And remember, let's take this Facebook thing and I'm going to cut that out and then get rid of this. And then behind the word Facebook, I would just put my personal Facebook link that linked to my Facebook page, just like that. Now, that is it. So let's take a look at this email. Do you see how clean this looks? I'm not overselling. All of the things that I wanted to say in the email, I would make sure that I had on my sales page. And I have created an email here that's going to pique their curiosity. It's going to hopefully get them to take an action step, which is to click on that link. And I would even have my phone number here where they can reach out and give me a call. So that is it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save the changes. Now that I've got my changes saved, I'm going to send this email to myself to make sure it goes into the inbox. Now, very important, when you're creating a campaign, you always want to send each email as you create it to yourself to make sure it gets into the inbox. One time I was trying over and over to get it into the inbox, and it turns out it was the URL itself that it didn't like. It was like some tiny URL thing or something. So always make sure that the actual URL that you want them to link to is not being blocked. And the other thing is, when you're testing emails, what I personally do, I always change my email address that's inside of my account to a Gmail account. So I'm not forwarding any emails to another account. And that is because a lot of times when you're using an email address that has your domain at the end, what you've done is you've set up an email forwarding scenario. And we don't know why, but those type of scenarios, sometimes they block emails coming through. Sometimes they put them in the spam folder. That is something we don't know why happens. So whenever you do your testing, I'm just going to suggest that you temporarily go change the email address that's tied to your account to a Gmail account. And that's going to give you a fair test whether this email is going to be going into the spam or not. That's what I've done. So I'm going to click on Send Now. So now I'm going to jump over to my email account to see if all of those changes got this into my inbox. Okay, here we are in my inbox, and I'm going to double click on this. It definitely made it to my inbox. And take a look at this. Doesn't this email look inviting? Okay, it's not that overwhelming text. And as you can see at the bottom, the PS looks really good as well. So let me just close by saying this. Instead of trying to sell everything about your program in an email, cut down the content. Don't have big, bulky paragraphs. Get it to the point where you're just getting them to click on a link, giving them a little bit of information. If I was going to receive an email like this, I would be intrigued. I'd be like, you know what? What's going to give a commission to me in the next 20 minutes? Yeah, I want to see a sneak peek. What's this all about? I hear it's simple. I'm being told it's very simple and easy to use. And that's all I really need to hear. That's what's going to get me to that next page. Then on the sales page, you can tell me all about the product, the service, the money, the ad packs. I mean, whatever there is to tell your prospect, you can do that on the sales page. And you can use these exact same techniques for every email that you're creating. Good luck.